Hello, and welcome to another episode of cEDH Gameplay, where we still have no idea what we're doing, but we do our best. And here we have what I'm bringing today, and I have no idea if this is gonna work, because this is a first draft of a Kodama Silas Reanimators sub-theme Razaketh Acerasac type thing. It's an idea that I've been toying with for a bit. So this is draft 1. We're going to test it today and see what happens. Regular win cons that you would see before if you know Kodama Silas in either Thorakol, Maloku with infinite 1/1s, or infinite mana with Tireless Provisioner. But we've also added in Razaketh and Acerasac, and Razaketh is just tutor on a stick to get you to whatever A plus B you want.
I brought Kinnan once again today. It focuses still on Basalt and Hullbreaker Horror Infinite Loops. It doesn't run Freed or Permanence Aura, but it enjoys some hardcore stacks pieces such as Void, Twinor. And yeah, it's the best out of mid-range in stacks.
I thought we were done with this.
Yeah, so I'm bringing Heliod again. I've made a couple of revisions since I played it last. A bit of tuning here and there.
I love that
friction
you're
up
playing Walking Ballista. It feels like I had something to do with that. I don't know.
No, it was completely Snuske who convinced me, honestly.
Yeah, I remember us talking about Walking Ballista in the deck. It's an interesting addition.
Yeah, I also added like the fairy, kitten and stuff, and I think it's a bit more streamlined. I cut some of the fluff.
You really think
yeah,
Teferi is good here? Because Teferi, I mean, yeah, you can cast it in instant speed, but you can't activate him. You feels like you kind of want to win on an opponent's turn.
Yeah, but I still can if I cast him. Like, it's pretty much the same as Ranger Captain. Like, I still want to wheel a bunch and don't let you interact with me. So it does that. While also, like, presenting a line with Teferi and Kitten. I don't know if that'll come up, it's just there.
I'm playing my really fun Valakut, Thrasios, Smasher, naseum deck with 50 lands, lots of mountains, and we have a mana bond and lots of ways to empty your hand. I would dream with a mana bond in my opening hand versus this wheel deck. That could be one to just refuel. But in general, this is a mid-range deck with a really low CMC so that we can draw us an entire deck with an ad nauseum. And with that, let's look at opening hands. So looking at first 7, I kind of like it because we have a mana crypt, but we don't have like much more after that. Sure, we do have a Thrasios activation coming up really fast afterwards because the mana crypt is going to help us get the mana for a Thrasios activation. But if we don't wheel, we only sit with a Flusterstorm. But in the end, well, Scavenging Use is also kind of decent, but not that great versus the opponents we're actually going up against. Like, they aren't that graveyard orientated. Now, mana crypt will make me take some damage, which means my ad nauseum will get weaker, but that's fine. I think I'm gonna keep this hand actually in the end because we will get that very secured Thrasios activation with this hand. And Flusterstorm is also really safe to just have in the hand. And I have a feeling that Pontus is gonna wield this, so trying to empty the hand as fast as we can. Mana crypt will help us do that, so I'm gonna keep. But there is absolutely a world where you could mulligan this, but in the end, this is just a safe hand. And with that, let's listen to Snuske's opening hand, the Kodama and Silas player.
The issue with this deck that is so far that it mulligans horribly. This hand kind of does nothing. Not much to talk about here. We're just going to go for second 7. I mean, this is boring, but it works. This is turn 1 Wishclaw into a turn 2 win the game, it looks like. We play our land here, then we Wishclaw. We can search it up. We're missing the last mana, so maybe we delay it a little bit. We'll see what we draw, but maybe it's a turn 3. We're definitely keeping this, though.
Okay, let's look at the first 7. Snap keep, done. No, this is a very good hand. This is the only bad card is game plan, and the game plan is our game plan. So yeah, we basically always keep this. It's a turn 3 flip, so it's kind of slow. But this is in the facet pods. So I think we'll get away with it. We have everything we need. Like, this deck just wants mana and something to do with it, and that's what we got. Hopefully, don't lose before I get to do the thing, because this hand does the thing.
Yeah, so we are 4th, so this gemstone is online, but we don't have a fast mana production, something we can really rely on. So we can do better. Let's see second 7. Oh, okay. Yeah, we keep this. This is mana, good pieces, and again a gemstone caverns. I have a pregame. Hey, lucky gemstone caverns. Exciting a Wandering AK.
I'm gonna draw a card for the turn. I wanna play this Mana Crypt and this Arid Misa and pass the turn.
I'm gonna draw a card. That's interesting. Let's play this Windswept Teeth. We're going to crack it. I'm gonna find a tropical island. Tap it to play an Elves of Deep Shadow. And cast a Mana Crypt. I'll pass turn.
Take my turn. Land for turn will be a Mist Rain first. I would like to fetch, finding a Tundra. Then I'd like to cast a Mana Crypt as well.
Wow.
I will tap my Mana Crypt to cast the Felwar Stone, and then I'll pass my turn.
My turn 1 will be less exciting. Okay, Flooded Strand. I will fetch Tropical Island. Signet, go.
In your end step, I'm gonna sacrifice this and find a Steam Vent tap. Then I will go to my turn and untap. I get Tails, so no damage from the Mana Crypt. I'm gonna play a Taiga. So we could tap out for a Thrasios here, and we have 2 colorless mana left over that we can't use. So we currently have a Pyroblast and a Flusterstorm in our hand, so that's good, like we have interaction. But not casting Thrasios means that we could also like fall a little bit behind here. Pontus needs to get his commander into play and then pay some mana to flip the commander, so that will take him some time. I don't think Pontus is like gonna wheel on his next turn and go pop off yet. I'm not certain Kinnan is gonna do that either, and it feels like Kodama might pass the turn as well. So I'm gonna gamble and put my commander Francis into play, because that will make my game better the longer the game goes. But it is a risk, but also if you don't take that risk, there's a chance you fall behind, and you lose often those games you fall behind a bit. I'm gonna tap these 2 lands here and cast my Thrasios, and then I Hasios.
I will untap. I will roll for crit with a d6, because I'm not a monster. Odds I'm safe. It's a 1. I will take 3, and I will draw for turn. Play a Polluted Delta. I will crack it. Going to 35. Underground Sea. And I'll cast an Arcane Signet. Cast a Wishclaw Talisman. Cast a Finthorn Elves. I will pass my turn.
Take my turn. Roll for crypt. All this damage, roll to 5, so I take 3. Draw for turn. Land for turn, I'll shock in the Heliod Fountain. Cast this Mox Diamond, pitching this island. 4 mana to cast my commander. Yeah, and then I pass as well.
Draw. Yeah, I will fetch Shocked Breeding Pool. Cast Kinnan. I will just cast Elves and then pass.
Heads is damage. Heads, I take 3 damage. I will draw for turn. Step 1, shock into play this Blood Crypt. So I'm gonna cast this Red Subterranean Tremors, paying X equals 4. So I'm gonna do 4 damage to all creatures, sadly killing my Thrasios, but it's probably worth it. We are also gonna destroy all artifacts with this, including all the rocks and mana and the Wishclaw, but also we're gonna kill that Heliod because apparently it's not indestructible.
Pass on that.
Boom! It results.
Nuked.
So we've cleaned the board state, we're back to Stone Age, and I pass turn.
Cool. I'm gonna untap and draw. No, the audience sees what I draw, and they're gonna laugh. I'm not amused. I will pass the turn.
Take my turn. Double tap. I will pass.
Keep Mystical Tutor. Yep. Find a Green Suns on top. Draw said Green Suns and cast it for 1. Find birds, then pass.
I'm gonna go to my turn, untap and draw a card.
So you're in a bad spot, correct?
I'm not in a terrible spot.
Okay. I have a position for you if you don't cast Thrasios.
Okay, shoot.
So you know my game plan.
Yeah, I know your game.
It kind of resolves around resolving this game plan.
What is that? What does that do?
So I kind of need your 4 mana.
You're so toxic.
So I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually not in a great spot, but I'm also not in a terrible spot. Observing that 2 players basically just drew a card past turn and someone mystical tutor for a bird, it feels like I might be in the better spot compared to everyone else. So I think I'm sorry, Pontus, I'm gonna decline. If the other players would have done differently, I might have gone for it.
I agree.
So I'm gonna try to run away with the game by tapping 4 and casting Thrasios and Thrasios.
Cool. I'm gonna draw a card for my turn. That's funny. So, we technically win the game if there's no interaction from anyone. We have 2 options here. We know Pontus wants to cast the wheel. We can also go for the demonic consultation first, try to bait it out and hope they don't have interaction for the Thasus Oracle. Then there's a chance we just lose right away if they do, if there's a force or something. But then we have a sneaky Shallow Grave for the following turn. turn. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to cast Consult, naming whatever, exile everything, maybe play it off as though we don't have anything and we're looking for something to get us back in the game. And then if they do kind of the Thoracle, we have a Shallow Grave for the upkeep of my next turn before I die. All right, we're in a weird spot here. We're going to tap this Underground Sea and cast a Demonic Consultation.
I pass.
I don't trust this, but sure.
I would like to name You Are Already Dead.
Wait, what?
Oh,
You have
no.
Thrasios in your hand here?
I'd like to announce that I do not play You Are Already Dead, and I'd like to move my entire deck to exile. And then I would like to shock in this Watery Grave,
Oh no.
and I would like to cast this Thassa's Oracle.
Yeah, nice. I have nothing.
Yeah, pass. You got it.
No response.
Awesome.
Oh, I should not have tapped out for Thrasios apparently. Like, I had 3 layers of interaction. However, like, when I observed Snuske draw a card, do nothing, felt like his game plan revolves around that Witchcloth Talisman finding something for him. Apparently, he must have top-decked one of the things during the turn cycle, and I guess the land was the last thing he top-decked. In any case, well, live and learn.
Yeah, the Phyrexian really ruined Heliod when they removed the Indestructible. That's horrible, but so are they, so...
I was so convinced Monster's gonna win post the board wipe, but some decks can just win out of nowhere. That's a very valuable lesson.
We got there. No, it was just the typical have Thoracle in the starting hand, and then I drew into the Consult right after my Wishclaw got destroyed, which would have been able to get protection as well, which I was pretty sad about. So I was afraid of all the blue mana, but hey, we got there in the most cEDH way possible.